Welcome back to Vlogmas Day 14. I can't believe this officially ends off the first 2 weeks of Vlogmas and I've been ill the entire time. But it's fine. And I am going to mention that every video, so you're going to get sick of me. But I just want you to know I don't normally sound like this deep. But in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you, I just randomly got this idea the other day. Small artists, or artists that are small, but like you've probably heard of, but they're really underrated. So they're not big, you know? So I'm going to be sharing with you some artists I really love that I feel deserve way more recognition and should be way bigger. And hopefully you can discover some of your new favorite artists in this video today. So the first artist I'm going to be talking about is ecat19. ecat19, also known as Ethan Kutkoski. You might know him from Shameless. That is also where I discovered him. Shameless is one of my favourite shows ever. He ended up being my favourite character playing Carl. So obviously I follow the cast on Instagram. Lo and behold, he starts posting music. I listen. Instantly obsessed, instantly one of my new favourite artists and one of my new favourite male artists as well. A good place to start could be Anyway or Falling Deep. That might be a good introduction. I personally love those. I also love Jetlag. I honestly love all of his music, and he doesn't have too much music out yet. He doesn't have an album or anything. It's just all singles. I think he would do great to release a mixtape of all of that on vinyl, personally. If he sees this, please do that. But yeah, that is ecat19. Okay, next is an artist you may have heard of, whether you've heard of her as an artist or not. This is Nessa Barrett. I and maybe everyone else knew Nessa Barrett from TikTok, and I feel like that kind of puts people off sometimes, but I don't know why, because we also have Addison who's from TikTok who makes amazing music. Well, so does Nessa. She is so underrated. I promise you Aftercare is in my top 10 albums ever in life. It is so good. She released it last year and released a deluxe this year. I don't know how she's not so big yet. I don't know how she's not mainstream. It's quite like dark pop, I'd say. I think that's the right term. You might know her song Die First. That had a big moment a few years ago. She now makes more like dark pop kind of songs. She's made like a bit of a mix, but she's very much stuck to dark pop. She has influences like Lana. They've sang one of her songs together, American Jesus. My personal favourite song at the moment of all from Aftercare, and they are Pins and Needles, Dirty Little Secret, and Porn Star. I just highly recommend so much. Listen to all of the music though, not just Aftercare, but like Aftercare is like just a gem of an album. It's so good. Next is a smaller artist I've discovered very recently, and that is Ella Bow. Ella Bow is my recent new obsession. She is amazing. How I discovered her, I think she just sometimes, honestly, an artist pops up on my YouTube. I think, that looks cool. I click on the music video, and I like fall in love with their music and their style and their artistry, aesthetic, everything. A song, which is my favourite song by her as well, funnily enough, called Serial Killer popped up. I just saw the visuals, and also her voice is amazing. Everything about the song, how it's produced, so good. I highly recommend Ella Bow. I can feel it. She is really going to make it huge one day because her music is just so good. I'd say it's dark pop. I'm very bad with my genres, but I think it might be, a lot of these might be in a dark pop-esque genre, but some of them are like completely different. I do have a band in here as well. So Ella Bow, I think she kept on my YouTube, and then I realised that I think she knows an artist I'll mention later, and then she does know other artists I'll mention later, and they're all like, oh, I didn't realise they even all knew each other until I listened to them, so that's funny. But her aesthetic and visuals are everything. I get it so much. She probably does my favourite visuals I've ever seen for an artist, to be so honest. Next we have rising pop star Adele. I and many others first knew of her from Popstar Academy. She was honestly my favourite on there. I'm not going to lie to you. Her and Danny were my favourites. I knew she didn't get in because I knew Cat's Eye as like a band and who they were, and then watched Popstar Academy when I got into them. So I knew Adele didn't get in, but I was still shocked because I thought she is really one of the most talented people. She has it in dance and singing and just in everything, and the way she carries herself. Her music is so different and so fresh. I feel like it's the second coming of Lady Gaga. Going to be so honest to you, it's just phenomenal. My personal favourites are all of her songs. Again, she doesn't have too many out. A lot of these don't. Nessa has a bit out, but the rest of them I mentioned don't have too much music out yet of their own. So it's really cool to be there from the start and witness them grow over time. I really love Sex on the Beat. You could have heard of Superstar if you've heard of music. You could have heard of Sex on the Beat recently. That's really cool. The messages in her music and everything, it's just really cool. She's so sweet as well. She seems like such a down-to-earth person. She is worth a listen, I promise you. Next is one of my faves, and this is somebody who I watched in concert a week ago, and I just can't believe I've seen her live still, and that is Isabel La Rosa. Now, if you don't think you've heard her name, you've probably heard of her song I'm Yours. That trended on TikTok a few years ago. I don't really use TikTok anymore, so she could have had more trending, I'm not sure. She's one of those where she is a smaller artist, but she's not as small as the people on this list. But just like, more people need to talk about her. She's so underrated. She's one of my favourites, truly. She was in my top 5 this year on my Wrapped. Her music, again, very dark pop, I'm pretty sure that's the genre. Amazing. So you might have heard I'm Yours. I do love I'm Yours, don't get me wrong, but I actually love a lot more, like most of her songs more. So if you like that, you're in for an absolute treat. I love Older, Her Face, that shows her versatility as well. My Girl, Good Girl, they're all so good. Favorite, like, please give her a listen. Album. Raven is her first album out, but she has music before that too. But Raven is the first like full album. She releases a lot of singles. She's always feeding us. If you want an artist who's always feeding you music, even if it's snippets or whatever, Isabel is your girl. Next is an artist that I discovered because she opened for Isabel La Rosa and taught, and that is Snow Wife. So I'd never heard of Snow Wife before personally. So assuming she is a smaller artist, because I don't think she's big, but very underrated, because I can't believe I've not heard of her before until now. Snow Wife just makes such a different kind of music, as in like I could just put her on and strut on the treadmill. I could go to the gym, but I could also just put her on and chill, even though it's not like chill music, but I just chill to music like that as well, because that's like my kind of music. She blew me away. When I saw her live, I felt like I was watching her own show first and then Isabel's, rather than like, you know, a support act usually does kind of feel like a support act, not in a bad way, because that's what they're there for. They're there to hype up the crowd and introduce themselves. But Snow Wife, I felt like I was at her show and then Isabel's show in the best way possible. Her music is so good. My favourite is Pumps. So good. Her choreography was phenomenal, and just the way she held herself, amazing. Let's make Snow Wife big in 2026, please. Next, we have another rising pop star, I could say, is Alessi Rose. You might have heard of her actually recently. It's funny because I could have made this video 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and been like, Sabrina Carpenter, Gracie Abrams, Tate McRae, like I would have said those, but now they're all big, so it's like really cool to see how like in a few years some of these artists like won't be in videos like this anymore, and I just think that's so cool. I can't wait for that to happen for them all so much. But yes, we have Alessi Rose. I also saw her live recently. I genuinely think that's the smallest venue she will ever play again by a mile. She has grown so much. She's open for Tate McRae and Dua Lipa, and she's played festivals this year. She's playing festivals next year. And she's doing some kind of like festival thing, I think it is, with Lorde and some other artists like Zara Larsson. And it's just, I just, as soon as I found her, I kind of could feel like, okay, like this is going to be a big year for her, and it's just going to get bigger from there. I do see her charting and being talked about so much in the next couple of years, and only further on after that. Alessi makes such good music. You could have heard of Oh My. You might have heard of her first Original Thought. You might have heard of. That's my personal favorite. It's just too like, I love it. Also Eat Me Alive. That Could Be Me. And I do love R.I.P. as well. So definitely puts on a show for you. Different kinds of music in the same genre, if that makes sense. Like you have first Original Thought and Get Around. You might love Get Around as well, but then you have other ones, and it's like her other kind of music, like Stella and everything, and it's just so cool to see her versatility, but you can still tell it's in her style. Next, I think you'll know her. If you're a Disney kid, you'll know her. Genevieve Hernelius. I always used to say Hellenius, but I wrote Hernelius. I'm so sorry. I'm the worst at pronouncing things in the world. Ignore me. So, like me, you might know her from one of my favourite Disney shows ever growing up, Dog with a Blog. And also she was on Sunny of the Chance. I swear she was in so many things, it's untrue, especially Disney things too. So you probably know her. I always loved her as an actor. She's so pretty. I always admire her as an actor, thinking, wow, like, I hope I can be in this many things one day. Very, very recently, but I know this because I follow her on Instagram, obviously, dog with a blog, hello. She has started to release music and it's genuinely really good. And I'm so happy to be in the first lot of people to fully experience this. And she is again feeding us. She is giving us, she's not giving us one single month ago and disappeared. I think we've got 3 now. I could be wrong, but highly recommend. Please, let's bring her to the top. Next, this is a switch from the different kinds of genres I've been talking about. This is a band called, originally Princess Goes to the Butterfly Museum, but now just called Princess Goes. It's shortened to that, but I will forever refer to them as Princess Goes to the Butterfly Museum because those are my faves, okay? This is an extremely good band. If you're thinking, how would I know this band? Try Michael C. Hall, try literally Dexter. He is in the band, he sings. I've seen them live before, my parents have seen them live before, my whole family loves them. I saw them live back in 2023, and this is before I ever watched Dexter, mind you, so that's like really funny. They deserve to be bigger. I don't get how they aren't. Dexter's in the band, and I know that's not the only reason, but I'm just saying, like, you think people would find that out, but they just haven't yet. It's so good. Personal favourite, Vicious. Such a good song. Also, love Ketamine. The song kind of gives me Gorilla vibes in a little bit of a way. Sometimes when I listen to Gorillaz, I'm like, get down, this sounds like a Princess Goes song, and then vice versa. So that's the kind of vibe in a way. Next is somebody you've probably heard of, and my favourite singer in the world, Madison Beer. She's not a small artist, but she's not a big artist. Like, she's not mainstream, but she's heavily underrated. I don't know if that's because for some reason so many people think she's a TikToker, and again, there's nothing wrong with that. We have Addison and Nessa who came from TikTok, so nothing wrong with that because they make amazing music, and I'm so glad they did get to TikTok so then we could find out who they are and their amazing talents. But for Madison, she was signed onto a label because Justin Bieber discovered her when she was 13. I don't know what is coming across about her being an influencer, that if you just do a little bit of research, you'd find out that wasn't the case. She literally got signed by Justin Bieber. She has one, and I'm not being biased here, one of the best vocals, along with like Billie Eilish and people like that, in the world that I've ever heard. Her vocals are so beautiful. And she does have kind of different styles of songs. You can see she's been finding herself from her first EP to the past 2 albums. And we've got a new album coming out in January. I can't wait. You probably do know a few of her songs, like Good and Goodbye, like Make You Mine. She's got some more dance pop songs like Make You Mine, 15 Minutes, All at Once, Yes Baby. But her typical genre, I'd say, if you want a real taste for Madison's music genre, it's Bittersweet. I'd listen to Bittersweet. It's also on the upcoming album, so it's a great segue into that. A lot of people say as well for Madison that she doesn't have an aesthetic, and I'm like, are we watching the same person? She does to me. Okay, next we have Kylie Contral. So she is a Disney kid, but she's more of like as I call the new gen Disney. So she came onto Disney. I was aware of who she was, but it was when I was a bit older. So like I wasn't really watching Disney like that anymore, and I'd only really watch shows I'd watched when I was younger, if that makes any sense. I grew up with like Good Luck Charlie, Wizards of Waverly Place, Jessie, Austin and Ally, and then this is like, was it called Gabby something? And now she's in this new era of Descendants, which is so cool. I'd heard of her because of that, but never actually really known her. She was on Girl Talk. Girl Talk's one of my favourite YouTube channels ever and my favourite podcast ever. She was on Girl Talk. I loved her vibe. I gave her an instant follow, and then she released music, so I was like, hello. She released one in the summer called 99, I think it was. That was very cool. Denim is a really good song. She's very Y2K vibes. You know, if you like Tate McRae, you have the chance of liking Kylie Contral too. Next, we have Maisie Peters. Maisie Peters. Another girly on the rise. We love to see it. I discovered Maisie Peters because I watched Ed Sheeran live in 2022 on his stadium tour, and lo and behold, Maisie Peters was one of the openers, and I thought, wow. I heard her, and honestly, for me, it's rare to like an opener, as in like, not like them, but you know, like go home and listen to them. Not to be rude, but that's just generally what happens for me. I heard Maisie Peters and was like, yes, please. Got home, listened to her, love her so much. She's currently on the rollout, I'm pretty sure, for MP3. If not, then she's releasing a lot of singles. But yes, I can't wait. She's amazing. She is already getting bigger as we speak, and she has over the past few years. Since I saw her, she's already gotten loads bigger. That's really cool. Next, we have Ari Abdul. You've probably heard Baby Doll, again, trended on TikTok a few years ago. So I knew that song, but not very well, because I'm just not too much of a TikTok user anymore, as I've said. But she's also like best friends with Isabella Rosa, and so it's along that genre again, just so cool. And if you've heard Baby Doll, you know that's good, so you know what you're in for. We're coming up on our last few now. Next we have somebody again you'll know if you're a Disney kid 100%, Dove Cameron. She was in Liv and Maddie, she was in Descendants, she's also been in Shameless when she was a lot younger, by the way. Dove Cameron has been releasing music for years on years. I was there since Bloodshot was my favourite song, then I loved Lazy Baby a few years later, then that's all been deleted now. But her music at the moment, I feel like it's gone through a few changes, but it's still very her. Alchemical Volume 1, her album is phenomenal. I love White Gloves and Lethal Woman. Those are my favourites ever. Very different and very cool. She's now making more music like Too Much, which I love, and I love the message of that. I don't know how she's not bigger yet, and she has the vocal skills. She opened for Dua as well this year. Next is Elise. I discovered Elise years and years and years ago, and I only ever listened to this one song, so I wasn't as into like going to the artists and listening to them as much because I was like younger, so it's just not really what I did. And she's come back up recently. I was like, oh my god, she sang that way, that's so cool. So kind of in association with Isabella Rosa, Ella Bo, Ari Abdul, we have Elise, who back in, I want to say 2019, could have been 2020, but I'm going to say 2019. I don't know when it came out, but I just remember I was in high school, and I discovered a song called 911. And how I discovered it was it popped up on my Spotify and I listened to it. That's how I used to discover a lot of music back in the day. And it's really good. It's really different. So cool. I just love when we're getting something different, you know? She's amazing. She also did a song with Ella Bo, which was really, really cool. So again, you know you're in for a good time. Next we have Maggie Lindemann. If you don't think you've heard of her, she did sing Pretty Girl. Yes, this Pretty Girl. I can swear, I can joke. However, her sound has completely changed since then. And honestly, for the best, just as in that song, loved it back in the day, banger to like teenager me. She now makes such incredible music. You've got her Sucker Punch album, and now you have I Feel Everything. Such an amazing album, her best work. My favourite song from her is Fang, off of I Feel Everything. It's so good, complete different vibe. She is gorgeous, and her vibe is just so clear to me. And yeah, amazing voice, and I really want to watch her live next year. Okay, we're on our last one. If you have heard of her, she was a YouTuber. That's how I discovered her, and she still is now. And this is Emily Dobson. The vibe she gives is like Nessa Barrett. She loves Nessa Barrett's music, and it does definitely come through as inspiration in her music, and it's so good. She sings Boston Boy. That was her first single. I've had to switch to no mic because both of them are dead. I'm so sorry. I'm so glad I noticed it died, because otherwise we would have had no audio for the whole end part of the video. But yeah, Emily Dobson sings Boston Boy and Release Die For Me. Very cool. Very like, you can see the inspirations coming through but making it her own, and I love that for her so much. And I just hope so much she goes very far in music. And I also did add Audrey Hobart to this list. I was debating it because she's bigger, but she still deserves the recognition. So Audrey Hobart, you know, you probably know Sue Me. Rolling Stone named it one of the top 100 songs of the year. I agree. I like her song Sex and the City more. I like a few of her songs more, but Sue Me definitely had its moment this year. So thank you so much for watching today's Vlogmas. I had so much fun putting this together for you guys. I'll see you tomorrow for Vlogmas Day. Looking at my calendar right now. 15? Day 15.